What builds good communication? I personally really appreciate eye contact. I feel that there's a lot of power in eye contact. And when you start noticing it, you notice that people look away a lot when you talk to them. And they don't look at your eyes, or they look away, or they look at the floor. And I've noticed that you can have deeper conversations with people and better communication if you actually make eye contact.
Trust. I think a lot of good communication is built on trust and openness, which is not always easy, but I think that's what good communication means, really, because it allows us transparency, which I think is also important in communication.
Yeah.
I think if you really try to listen to each other, so instead of when you hear something putting your own person on that, instead of like really trying to see like where is the person coming from and what is the person trying to say. Because often we hear something, someone says something, and then we immediately want to answer and don't even try to understand what the person is really trying to say. But instead of doing that, we can stop that and listen to learn and not to answer. I think that makes good communication.
I think it has a lot to do with personal work on our own honesty and how we perceive our own feelings. Like being able to identify what we're feeling so that we can communicate it. That's the first step.
Look in the eyes and talk to people, and more like get together, and we can communicate. Even if you don't speak the language, you can communicate with your arms and with your eyes, I think.
So really good communication becomes a flow between two people or more people, of meaning, of sense making, of understanding each other's view, or together finding solutions to whatever is the purpose of the communication.
There's something called unconditional positive regard, which is, can I have an unconditional positive regard for the person sitting opposite me? Another thing that's important for me is transparency. So how can I know and work with what I'm busy with and what's involved with me, and how can I decide what of that do I want to put into the relationship and what of that do I need to work on for myself. So that I don't put all my emotional needs on the people around me. A good community life is where you give the opportunity for the community to experience each other in different settings. So it's really nice to be in a course together and to think about things together. It's really nice to cook together and to do things together. It's nice to work in the garden together. It's nice to sing together and to dance together. So to do different things together so that you can see people from different sides and from different ways of being.
Diversity and giving space as well to be unique. That every person has their own qualities, what they can bring into the community. So the community has like a whole diversity of different qualities, and I think that makes the community very rich.
Being familiar with the landscape and with the setting of the community is really helpful for people to really feel at home, and this creates more trust and sort of more a feeling of freedom, I guess.
I think there have to be some kind of connecting element, really something that you all love and you have in common, this thing.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing that helps you overcome the differences every time they come up.
Also being polite, but not all the time polite.
Love. Love unconditionally, love everybody, because you also want to have love, you also want to feel love, and this will only come when you be the change and start loving, and people will see you and start loving. And that's how the community exists, when you have love and respect for each other.
See my needs and the community needs, and then what words
Balance.
need to really balancing it.
Yeah.
That's, I think, one of the key things nowadays, especially.
Yeah, I think people is really what support me. So I know there are people who I always feel really comfortable around, or even I not feeling well, but I know I can go to these people and they will listen to me, or I can just hug them. Or the nature, like to have a space like close to nature, and then that I know I can always go out and to feel the nature, or just to be with myself and feel the ground, feel the soil.
I think the best way to know a person or to connect to a person is that you share the same reality and also stories and history. So if you know the other person for a very long time, then it's easy to connect, because often then you share the same reality, and
Right.
shared experiences, shared adventures, shared stories. Yeah, if you can tell stories about your togetherness.
To spend a day with them how they would spend a day alone. So if you are visiting somewhere in a country, or go with them, go to the shop where they buy their bread, go with them to their schools.
I think it's really living together, and this is not, maybe it are not the big moments, maybe it are the small things where you learn about each other, how other people from different cultures do their dishes differently, or how people eat, how people walk, that in India the light switch is going the other way around. I think it are the really small things that is making us able to make this connection.
And being open, like not judging, just accepting that the other person is how she is, and not trying to fix the other person, just to accept it. Okay, he's this way and I'm maybe the other way, but it's okay. I'm just gonna let him be.
Connecting with another person starts with the eyes, you know? It's like, first I see the other person, I see it, and I really like to have eye contact and to say through the eyes, to have a conversation through the eyes. So I can see the other person through the eyes, and if I feel comfortable with the other person, if we connect with the eyes, then I want to know more about that person.
So showing yourself vulnerable is to opening up your chest and allowing people to see things that may not be so comfortable to feel, that related to fears or to parts of you which are not so easy to live with. And I think sharing those moments, that connection between human beings, of like when one human being shows that to another human being, is the most powerful connection that you can ever have.
Also cry together, laugh together, not just hello, how are you, but to challenge together. And then when challenge come, laugh together.
To be friendly to everyone and try to help them. I think that.
Drinking coffee together.
There's a lot of things changing me. I think first I realized how important it is to really taking care of my feelings and emotions. When I really have a time for myself, like to just slow down and listen to my body, my emotions, and then afterwards I can come back, even like present in a better way and do things better. And then I also learned how for example, how nowadays people are really not used to this kind of intimacy with each other. For example, hug or talk or ask questions that may consider sensitive, but you never know what's going to happen before you try. So always try before you make assumptions. And yeah, so for example, sometimes in YIP I didn't expect people would be happy to share so much, but then when I asked this question, and I'm sure everyone somehow everyone needs to be cared and loved, and then so when someone has the interest in them, then they can actually be really willing to share, and then I can also get inspired by their stories, and I really feel like the best learning and the best resource of learning is from people's story, people's experience, and how they are looking their life, and everything I can learn